Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me for another episode today. This is going to be a topic that I'm excited to get into. Going to look at a few graded cards here that have a theme, and it's something that I really miss about the hobby here in the year 2022, and that I'm excited that we may see again at some point in the future. And that is, in the time period before sports card brand monopolies, there were some sets that actually spanned across multiple sports, or in some cases even all four of the major sports. And I absolutely loved that at the time, and I love it even more now in retrospect, probably in its absence and sort of missing it, than I think I even realized I did then. And we haven't had this in some time, of course. Panini has exclusive rights to create, NFL and NBA cards. Topps has exclusivity in the baseball realm, and Upper Deck owns hockey at this point. Hockey may be the tough one here, but I'm hoping that, with everything that's gone on with Fanatics and their supposed impending buyout of Panini, they've already bought out Topps, that maybe we'll see some of these sets that exist today kind of extend into other sports. And maybe the best example of that I can think of, or one of my favorites anyway, is 1992 Fleer Ultra. This is, in my opinion, and I think this is not really my opinion, I think it's pretty widely known, but this was sort of Fleer's answer to creating more like a premium brand set. Fleer had obviously been around since the early 80s, at least in the baseball realm, and then the mid 80s in the basketball realm. And, we're just making standard cards, just like Topps. And when Upper Deck came around in 1989, and then Topps kind of answered the call in 1991 with Stadium Club, Fleer gave us Fleer Ultra. And the first Fleer Ultra release in 1991 wasn't that impressive and didn't really have like much of a high-end feel. At least doesn't seem that way today. But the second release in 1992 was just awesome. And this is an example here. This is a Ken Griffey Jr. that I picked up from Mike, Baseball Card Dude, here on YouTube during one of his sales a while back. Wanted to support him and just was instantly drawn to this slab because at the time, as a kid, and even now still as an adult, I just thought 1992 Fleer Ultra was awesome. The design is great. You've got the baseball here in the upper corner with the Fleer Ultra foil logo over it, which felt very, very classy. Foil on the front of a card was still kind of a new thing back in 1992. You have to remember that. I love the simplistic design here with the nameplate across the bottom of the card, and then the team and position name. And then you have, again, some foil work here that sort of separates the nameplate from the photo. So a classy design. The photographs are really crisp and well done. A lot of times features an action shot like this, like an at-bat type shot, or a player just having made contact with the ball. So I like the consistency there. And then another thing that was neat about this set, the backs were just as cool as the fronts. Now, I know like this grid here in the background might look a little bit dated now, but as 1992 goes, this is a damn nice card back. You got two photos, both of which differ from the photo on the front. You've got career and previous season stats, nice big team logo, easy to read card number. These were just really, really cool card backs back in the day. But above everything else, the real reason that we're discussing 92 Ultra today is it spanned all four major sports. Fleer had a license at the time to produce baseball, basketball, football, and hockey cards. And they did so with that 92 Ultra release. And they kept the design consistent across the sports, which I love. So to go along with that Griffey, which I have shown before, I have three other graded cards that I've never shown here on the channel. But here is the basketball flavor from the same set, same year. You can see really the only difference here is it's a lighter blue below and behind the nameplate there. And obviously behind the Fleer Ultra foil is a basketball rather than a baseball design. And this Shaq obviously has the very fantastic foil rookie ribbon that us kid collectors loved back in the early 90s. Love this Shaq card. It's probably my favorite rookie of his. It's not valuable. None of the cards in today's episode are valuable. Shocker for you there. But, this is junk wax at its height. They probably printed 1 million of these. I don't advise you to go out and pick these up as an investment. by any means. I just like slabbed cards, and I think it's cool to get some, less valuable but iconic cards in slabbed format to go alongside my more iconic slabbed cards. So have this Shaq rookie probably set me back about $12 when I got it a couple of years ago. For a while there, when basketball got crazy, it got kind of expensive, but I think now it's back down to the under $20 price point in a fine 9. So love this card. Takes me right back to the 6th grade when Shaq burst onto the scene. And even though I wasn't even a basketball collector, and I'm still not to this day, I wanted some Shaq rookies because he was just like the biggest name in sports in the early 90s when he was breaking onto the scene with Orlando. Just like with baseball, awesome backs here. There is consistency to the layout of the back as well in terms of where the card number goes, where the team logo goes, how they position the two photos, everything. I love the consistency of a beautiful full color set like this where I can get the greatest stars from all of the professional leagues at the time. And so I've kind of made it an unofficial side fun project of mine. It doesn't cost a lot of money to hunt out cheap versions of these graded 92 Ultra stars and Hall of Famers across all sports, and have one from each of the 4 sports to show today. These two I've actually had in my collection for quite a while, just never got around to showing the Shaq. The next 2 that are going to close out the video are brand new pickups that I sort of just grabbed when I decided to go after this 92 Ultra cross-sport project. So on the football front, maybe my favorite player to watch in the history of the NFL, just as far as exciting plays and just, lightning in a bottle out there on the field. Like, this guy was just incredible. Barry Sanders for the Detroit Lions. Again, same design here, but got a slightly different green for the football turf than you did for like the baseball and for like the ice blue of the basketball. But other than that, and the football being behind the Ultra foil, it's the same design. Nice shot here of Barry taking a cut against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Probably about to shake a defender there. And as we saw with the previous 2, consistent back as well. Love it. This one is really nice. Instead of the checkerboard that we had on the baseball card, we have some down yardage here and like almost like a football field motif going on with a color matching blue for the Detroit Lions. 2 more awesome photos there. And just a great card. Like these, as I said, these aren't expensive. Barry Sanders was, I think, the most expensive of the 4 cards that I'm looking at today. And it was something like $16, I think, that I paid for that. So yeah, these are just a cheap way for me to enjoy the hobby and to build a graded card collection of one design that spans multiple sports. And we're going to close it out with a hockey pickup, one of my favorite players ever, and one of the most dominating players of the 1990s. So it was very appropriate to target him as one of the first graded copies of 92 Ultra that I picked up, Mr. Jaromir Jagr, also one of the best mullets in the history of sports. I got this card in a PSA 9 for $6 recently. And like, how can you go wrong at that price point? I just think this is a very fun collection to build. I'm on the lookout now and have some saved searches set up for other Hall of Fame players on this 92 Ultra design. I think it would be kind of a fun, like, graded mega collection to build over time to get as many of them as I can from, those 4 sports on this design. So I have 1 or 2 others that are actually on the way already to share, but for now, I wanted to pull these 4 because I just so happen to have one from every sport already in the PC and all in matching 9s. So there is some of the all-time greats at their respective sports, Griffey, O'Neal, Sanders, and Jagr. And a nice look at one of my favorite Junk Wax era sets, 1992 Fleer Ultra. So I will certainly have more to come on this front in the coming weeks and months as I sort of vacuum up some more of these. I'm not in a rush, so I'd rather wait it out and find copies like these that are, safely inside that $20 and under delivered price point. But it's going to be a fun kind of search and challenge to myself to build on these. So I'm sure I'll have more to show soon. But for now, we'll cut it at those 4 and keep this video to under 10 minutes today. Thank you so much for stopping by to check out these Ultra cards, and I will be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Until then, take care and enjoy the hobby.